welcome back to another video review. So today I have with me the new diver from Reverie. So as the name suggests, the new diver is Reverie's latest watch. It is supposed to be a dive watch, and let's take a look and see if it's any good. So let's start with the specifications. Now, for its sub 500 USD price tag, this watch is about 400 plus USD after promo code later. So it has quite good specifications for the price. So first and foremost, the diver uses a flat sapphire crystal. So I always look for a sapphire crystal whenever I look at watches. It's just very scratch resistant. There's also an AR coating, so minimalizes the bulk of the nasty reflections that you might get. As a dive watch, it has also 200 meters of water resistance rating, so you're able to bring this to the pool, to the beach without any major issues. So the Reverie Diver is powered by the Miyota 9039 movement, which is a step up, from the previous 8 series Miyota movements found in some of the previous Reverie automatic watches. So the Miyota 9 series is 42 hours of power reserve, a hacking seconds function, as well as beats at 4 Hz or 28,800 beats per hour. So I'm a fan of the Miyota 9 series. It's thin. It allows the Reverie Diver to come in only 11 mm thick. It's a thin movement, that beats at a relatively high bit rate, and I think it's comparable, but more affordable than the ETA Solita STP Swiss movements. Now, I would say that the decoration is pretty good as well. You get an engraved rotor with the Japanese Segaha pattern, which is like a elusive and wave pattern, as well as Geneva stripings on the base plate. So it's kudos to Reverie for attempting to decorate the movement at such an affordable price point. Now onto the bracelet itself. The bracelet is very well finished. It feels robust and it's industrially brushed. It has a very nice 6 mm taper to it, which leads to quite a comfortable wearing experience. Now you might notice the inspiration behind these clasps. It brings to mind your Rolex Submariner or your Tudor back base. No doubt, like a subtle reference to its more illustrious counterparts. Now as a cherry on top, the bracelet actually features your quick release pin, so you can swap it out with the additional rubber strap that Reverie has provided in the package, as well as half link. You're able to micro adjust on the fly. Let me show you a half link worth of bracelets. So if you guys find that it's getting a bit tight during hotter days, that's a very convenient feature to have. But yeah, I would say that this is one of the best bracelets that I've seen at this particular price point. You can see here everything clicks very soundly. It's a very well made bracelet. It's one of the best I've seen at under 500 USD, that's for sure. Now there's also lume on the watch. I'll pop up a lume shot here. So the Reverie Diver uses Swiss Super Luminova, 2 types of it in fact. So you have the indices and bezel that's decked out in green C3 lume, and the hands has applied blue BGW9 lume. Now overall, I think the Reverie Diver is great. Specifications for the price: there's sapphire crystal, 200 meter water resistance rating, a fantastic bracelet, a higher bit rate of Miyota 9039 movement, and even 2 types of Super Luminova. So at this price point, definitely one of the best specifications that you can find on a dive watch. But let's take a closer look at the lovely burgundy red dial of this watch. Now the burgundy red dial is definitely, I would say, the calling card of the watch, right? Red dials are becoming more popular these days. IWC, even Rolex has introduced watches with red dials in the past year, but it's still rare to see a dive watch with one. But boy, this dive watch, this Reverie Diver with a red dial is stunning. There's a depth to the burgundy red that reminds me of a nice glass of Shiraz. And this was my watch of choice for during Chinese New Year last week. I've gotten a lot of compliments when I wore this during Chinese New Year, so I guess that goes to show what a conversation starter in the Reverie Diver, especially one with this red dial, can be. Furthermore, let me bring this closer to the camera. The Reverie Diver, like all Reverie watches, has a guilloche pattern to it. So you can see a subtle guilloche pattern here at the center, like a nice little, almost sunburst like guilloche pattern that's applied. It's not quite as eye-catching as the guilloche patterns found in the Reverie Sea Spirit, but it definitely still adds like a further intrigue to the dial. I never thought like a red guilloche dial like the one that we are seeing here would be appropriate on a dive watch. If I say red guilloche dial, you would think of a dress watch, right? But over here on the dive watch, it actually fits rather well. So kudos to Reverie on that. Moving on to some of the other aspects of the dial. Here you have your applied baton indices that reminds me of like a Rolex Datejust, your Rolex Oyster Perpetual. There's also scatterized hands, which is unusual in itself, as well as printed mini indices. Now, what do I not like about the dial? Perhaps the this painted purple second hand. The painted aspect of the second hand just feels a bit cheap, and I'm not quite sure that the color purple fits well, with this red on this red dial. So yeah, perhaps I preferred brush steel second hand, or perhaps even the nice blue steel second hand instead. Now the Reverie Diver comes on two types of bezel, either your regular countdown dive bezel or this more uncommon 12-hour bezel. Between the two, I definitely prefer this 12-hour bezel simply because of its practicality. Unless you're a diver, you're not really going to use a dive countdown bezel. But with this 12-hour bezel, you can essentially use it as like a GMT function to keep track of another separate time zone. And as you guys can hear, it's a very nice, robust bezel as well. It's very good, rotating action. It feels very, each of the 120 clicks feels very solid, and it actually lines up, as you can see. Actually, let me one more click. It actually lines up with the indices. So kudos to Reverie on the quality control here. It's really a joy to rotate. There's really like little to no play with it. It's quite one of the best bezels that I've seen at this price point. Now onto the case. The case is mostly industrially satin brush, but we do get like these polished beveled edges on the side that provides a bit of finishing contrast. On the side, there's a nice screw down crown with the Reverie logo. It's of adequate size. Let me just screw it out for you. There you go. Very easy to wind. Lovely package all around. There's even a groove to it for a nice groove to it for a grippier touch. Yeah, pretty good stuff here. Nothing much to complain about. Now, let me just put this on my wrist and show you guys how it wears. Alright, let me do a slow wrist roll. There you go. Look at how eye-catching the red dial is. So, the Reverie Diver has a dimension of 40mm, 11mm thickness, and a lug-to-lug length of just 43mm. So it's one of the slimmest and most slender dive watches I ever tried on this 7-inch wrist. It wears like a charm and reminds me a lot of the Tudor Black Bay 58. In fact, I had no issues wearing the Reverie Diver with a suit. It just slides under a shirt cuff with ease. It's definitely a great desk diver, and it's immensely comfortable too, due to the tapered bracelet that again brings to mind some of your Rolex or Tudor watches. Now, all in all, I really do like this Reverie Diver. For one, it has great specifications for the price. You get sapphire crystal, 200 meters of water resistance rating, a solid bracelet, and an additional rubber strap, a Milta 9039 movement, and two kinds of Swiss Luminova. The design is distinctive as well. There are a lot of dive watches out there at this affordable price point, but I think none as eye-catching, as the Reverie Diver that we have here. Its burgundy red guilloche dial, its 12-hour bezel just sets it apart from some of its affordable homage dive watches peers. In fact, I would say that perhaps the only generic thing about the Reverie Diver is the name. Calling a dive watch a diver is perhaps a bit too literal and unimaginative. But that being said, it's still I think it's a great price for a great watch. If you're interested in purchasing this Reverie Diver, you can use the promo code WASOSHIOK for 40 USD off all watches on Reverie's web store. After the discount, the Reverie Diver would be 450 USD, or about just under 600 Singapore dollars, about 596 Singapore dollars, which I think is a good price point, a great price point in fact, given its specifications and prominent looks. If you're looking for an affordable alternative to the Tudor Black Bay 58, you should definitely check this watch out. Now, I want to highlight that Reverie actually includes a really nice watch roll, with all purchases of the Reverie Diver. You get a microfiber cloth, you get an additional rubber strap that has quick release in it, you get your usual warranty and user manual. Yeah, it's a very nice, I think, package overall. I actually found myself using this watch roll, to pack some of my watches, during watch meets and things like that. So yeah, a very nice touch. Overall, one of I think my favorite dive watches I've reviewed in recent memory. Yeah, if you're looking for an eye-catching, affordable diver that doesn't break the bank, consider the Reverie Dive Watch. It's a local brand as well. Reverie is a Singaporean brand, so you'll be supporting your local efforts in watches as well. Alright, and that's it for me for today. If you guys like the content, do give this video a like, do share it around and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao!